Hello, everybody. It is Dr. Tamu of Coaching by Tamu and Innovative Education and Training Solutions. So, we are live. If you don't know me well, I'm located in St. Kitts in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm here really with my entrepreneurship brand. And my entire goal with Coaching by Tamu is to co create growth oriented, scalable ventures with ambitious Caribbean women so that they can create generational wealth. And so today I have with me one of my wonderful clients. Don't get jealous, the rest of you out there. You're all wonderful, right? I have with me Mrs. Camara Lee-Prentice. When we began our journey, she was not Mrs. So I'd like to publicly congratulate you. So, Camara, I'll open the floor to you. Let everyone know who you are, what you do. Talk to us about Talent Plus.
Good evening, Tamu, Dr. Tamu, and good evening to everyone tuned into this discussion. So, before I introduce myself, Tamu, I just want to tell you that I absolutely love your introduction. It is superb. I love it. So, as Tamu said, my name is Camara Lee-Prentice, and I am from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. By profession, I am a human resource specialist with approximately 10 years diverse experience. And just to give you a little bit of idea about my areas of expertise in HR, it's more of a generalist, but with special focus on employee engagement, HR processes, strategic planning and implementation, training and development, to name a few. I am also the founder and CEO of Talent Plus. If you look into my background, you would see my brand, my banner. And Talent Plus is a recruitment and human resource business in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And even though we are physically based in St. Kitts and Nevis, we offer services throughout the region as well. Now, to briefly tell you about our services, we target both job seekers and businesses. So for job seekers, we offer services such as resume booster, job interview preparation, career planning, to name a few. And it is really to help you as a job seeker to stand out as a candidate of choice to employers. Now, for businesses, we offer services in three main areas: recruitment and hiring. And that includes vacancy advertising, talent acquisition, employment reference checks, interview preparation services. And that is really a big deal because quite often, as employers, we are not really prepared for interviews or to attract the type of talent that we want. And so it's important for us to prepare for those things. We also offer training and development, both open enrollment and customized training and development services. And lastly, human resource support. And this area it varies based on your institution. And so we support small, medium, large businesses. It can be policies and procedures drafting or revising them, performance management system, HR audits, just to name a few. So we are essentially an HR boutique.
Well, that was quite a mouthful. I see that we have a few people joining us, so do
Woohoo!
comment in the chat. Any of your comments or feedback, we'll be happy to look at them during our discourse with Kamara. Now, Kamara, you've spoken quite a lot about the wide range of services in your portfolio. But what I really want people to understand, and if you could talk to us about how quickly your venture has grown. I remember when you gave me that call, I believe it was less than 18 months, about 18 months ago. and you had an idea.
Yep.
You had an idea, and now you have a team, you have a location, you have a whole suite of services, and you have regional, local, and hopefully soon, I do believe, and international clients as well. So, can you talk to us about what are the strategies you think that were pivotal to your, I would say, stellar scaling of your service?
You know, you are so right when you mention Talent Plus. About approximately 18 months ago, I had a business idea, and Talent Plus was really created or founded rather at a time when we were in the peak of the current global COVID-19 pandemic. And what happened was that, or what was happening rather, is that COVID caused so many changes, both for businesses and for individuals. So, because of the increase, businesses were forced to close their operations. You saw employees being laid off. Some of them were in that job for 15, 20 years, and so on. And as an HR specialist, I analyzed the situation, and you know I thought to use it as a time to turn adversity into opportunity. And so many persons were laid off from their jobs and so on. But as an HR specialist, I will tell you a secret if you are a job seeker. One of the things that happened during that time was that businesses were glad to get rid or lay off underperformers. And so some persons who were laid off, when businesses reopened, and I'm being frank, when businesses reopened, there was a strong possibility that you wouldn't have returned to that same institution. And so I saw it as a time to help persons and to officially launch Talent Plus as a business targeting job seekers, helping you pretty much to start over or to transition. And so, resume booster, job interview preparation, helping you to prepare for the next step. And then, secondly, I thought, hey, we can't just offer services for job seekers and not equally offer services for businesses. And one of the things I did before coming up with the suite of services that we offer currently is to administer a survey, two surveys, one to businesses and two to job seekers, because we wanted to get an idea of what people want. It's one thing to have an idea and say, I think people need to learn how to create a resume, but that may not be what they want. I think um, businesses need help with hiring the right talent, but that may not be what they want. And so we first administered a survey to help us to finalize the suite of services. And then from that, Talent Plus was launched. I will tell you that when we launched in July 2020, approximately 18 months ago, it was just me. But what happened was that I have a very close circle and team rather who was able to help me to um, transition or to go take that idea from just an idea and transitioning to business. I want to talk about Dr. Tamu here as well, so I'm going to put a plug. As she rightfully said, I called her up because it is one thing to have a great idea, but one of the things that I think is critical and fundamental in starting and seeking to grow or scale a business is seeking assistance or coaching from persons in the know. And so I enrolled in two of Dr. Tamu's um, courses. Jumpstart Your Business was the first one because I wanted to know how to jumpstart my business. I've never started a business before except from participating in business activities in secondary school. What do I know about starting my own business? And so I thought it was critical for me to reach out to get some assistance and coaching in that regard. And so that really helped me. Once we launched Talent Plus, it was important to not just stop there, but how do you grow and develop your business? And so we utilized a number of strategies, and I'll just tell you a few of them to help you. And so one of the things that's critical is public relations and marketing. And in a time such as COVID and how the world is changing, it is important to use the tools available to us to get your message out there and sensitize your target audience. And so we utilized a number of PR and marketing services. We took advantage of the social media mediums available to us. We also utilized radio and television advertisement, as well as what worked for us and is working for us is word of mouth. So those are just a few things. In terms of strategy, you have to be innovative all the time. And so when you start and persons are reaching out and gravitating to your business idea, how can you keep those persons engaged and so on? And one of the things that really helped me was Level Up Ladies. I will tell you, as simple as it sounds, I remember Talent Plus grew quickly. And notice that I said it was just me. And I remember telling Dr. Tamu that, and I will never forget this, and it's the simple things. So many people, clients or prospective clients, were reaching out to me. So I had to manage the phone, and then I had to be responding, I had to be servicing clients, and so on. And I started to struggle with my responsiveness in a timely manner. And in one of our sessions, I said it to Dr. Tamu, and she's like, Camara, perhaps you need a strategy for that. You know, and she really helped me to create a strategy for dealing with that. Her face seems as though she doesn't remember, but I remember because I'm still utilizing it today. And she said, set a schedule for checking and responding to remind you. And those are some of the strategies.
Well, thank you. I want to point out some things. So I've been making some notes, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to to identify that opportunity seeking component. And
Mm-hmm.
what I want to discuss about that is that the research shows that everybody who's on a platform that I've ever been on knows that I love to talk about research, right? The research shows that women and all businesses really that scale quickly or grow quickly, the founders are great discovery or opportunity seekers. And what is really important about Kamara's story is that she used even a time such as the pandemic to see an opportunity. And part of having a growth oriented venture is being able to have vision, to understand what will be the trend as we move into and out of a current situation. And sometimes we fold, right? Businesses fold. We say, oh my gosh, it's the pandemic. There's nothing that I can do. But the truth is that opportunity seeking. I also like to highlight that research component, getting that customer insight. And I'd like to also highlight the fact that Kamara used a number, multiple media, multimedia in advertising and marketing her business, which has allowed her to create a brand because marketing and branding are different. And so now in our space, especially locally, when you hear Talent Plus, it conjures up sophistication, it conjures up competence, it conjures up all of these accolades, these positive adjectives. And that's because of the nature of the strategy that Camara would have used in positioning her brand. Now, having worked with Camara, I can tell you that from the very beginning, she was extremely brand conscious. See, she's even more brand conscious than me. So she backbone and thing, right? But she was very conscious about the image, her company's image, her team's image. So you spoke about the fact that we discussed that having a team was necessary to scale. Could you give us some insight, maybe not on how you chose your team, but as an HR professional, can you give us some, insight on how do we bring a team around us to move us from that startup stage to the growth stage when scaling our ventures?
I like that question because it's twofold. It's the type of business that we're in.
Yes.
So, once we started to grow, it was important for us to get assistance and bring a team on board. And so, if you what if you would realize that earlier I mentioned one of the things that we do is talent acquisition, helping businesses to secure and find the right talent. And so it is important for us to have the right team around us. Now, one of the things that I did was to quickly identify the areas I needed support with, or Talent Plus needed support with, because I learned quickly to stop speaking about myself as the brand, but rather to refer as Talent Plus as a brand. And so I realized, I mentioned previously, that I was struggling to do certain things as our client base grew. And so first thing first, we needed administrative support. Secondly, how do we continue to get our messaging out? Marketing, social media support. How do we get more clients? Business support, business consultancy. And so what we did was to first identify the positions that we needed to fill. Are you there, Tamu?
So all right,
Seems
let's
as though
load
you
back
dropped
up.
off.
All right, we're back. Internet.
Yes,
Yes.
I lost you a little. Yes, yes. So I was speaking about, identify the areas of need and the positions that we needed to fill. And once I identified those positions, the next step was for me to source and find the right people. And so administrative support, I had someone in mind. And so I brought on my niece as my administrative assistant to provide administrative support on a part-time basis, because we were still young and growing. It really wasn't needed on a full-time basis, and that is important when you're starting a business, because you have to truly assess the need. Because if you don't assess the need, you might end up overspending. And so you may bring on someone on a full-time basis when your business is not ready for that.
Mhm.
And so apart from identifying and bringing on that administrative assistant, I then had to source the right persons who would believe in the brand as I do, and to will help to push and support the brand. And so I utilized a number of strategies to find the right talent and to secure my team. Now, one of the things that you'll realize is you may have to change members of your team over time for various reasons, and that is okay because you're still growing and you're still scaling, and things will change daily, monthly, quarterly. Things will constantly change, and the persons around you, it's important for them to evolve as you evolve. So finding the right team is equally important. And I can segue a little into what we do in terms of helping businesses to find the right talent. It's the same thing. You may put out a vacancy seeking an accounts clerk. Anybody can say that they have basic accounting experience, but what exactly are you looking for? And what will help your business or help the person in that role to meet your overall objectives? So finding the right talent is important.
Well, there are some nuggets here. I'm always telling everyone, my clients who are trying to scale, that as you move through different phases in your business life cycle, then you always or generally have to change the team, right? Because the team that works for you when you're in that startup phase, you will probably not retain that entire team as you move into your growth stage, as you require additional skills and attitudes, which attitudes are also important. Now, I'd like to talk about the fact that you brought in a business development officer. Now, this is something that is not really common in the Caribbean context. Can you speak to us briefly about why that was such a pivotal decision for you? Why did you choose to include that person as an initial hire, and what have the results been for doing so?
I'll start where you ended. The results, they have been really good, extremely good. As I said, we have grown and we are growing quickly. Now, bringing on a business development consultant was one of the first persons I brought on, apart from the admin assistant. And that really is key because when we started Talent Plus, and we are still somewhat in that stage, how do we grow and operate and get people to learn more about our brand? And so it was important for me to get someone to help me to get that message out apart from marketing, but meeting with clients on my behalf or Talent Plus behalf and helping to sell and speak about our services in a different way. Now, one of the things I didn't want is, while everyone is aware that Camara is the founder of Talent Plus, I don't want it to be all about Camara, but paying attention to the suite of services that we offer, and that is important. So one of the things that we had to do was to get people to understand and to get that consultant to create buying. Now, my skill set, one of my strongest areas is human resources. Now, I may be a good speaker, but having someone else on board to help you to communicate that message, help you to network, help you to build your brand, help you to build your client base. Now, that is important because one of the things that I believe is you won't ever or you cannot have all the skills that's needed to help your business grow and scale. And so it's important for you to recognize that you would need other skill set and the support of others to help you to grow and scale. So business consultant, I wanted persons to see, hey, Talent Plus is serious. And so we are serious about getting business. We are serious about engaging you. We are serious about creating that buying and to get you on board. And so that was and remains a very critical position for us.
Now, if you had, well, let's not do that. As you move forward, what do you think are some critical team member positions that service based businesses like yourself in the training, in coaching, in consulting should fill as they begin to acquire more and more customers?
Um, every business will be different. It is based, you have to first look at your business model and your strategy. And so she likes what I'm saying because I mean that's what we speak about in Level Up Ladies: business model, strategy. So you have to look at your unique business model and your positioning. That is important. And what services are customers demanding? And so one of the things that I learned in Level Up Ladies was to assess each of your services constantly or continuously. And so I mentioned the suite of services. Now, how is it going for this area based? What is the data saying? And Tamu likes to talk about data. So what is the data showing you? So in a session, she would ask you, Kamara, what is the data showing you? Okay, then what is the data showing you? Well, Camara, the data is showing you that this area isn't doing so well, but this area is doing quite well. And this is where you need the support in the short, medium, or longer term. So, first thing first, assessing how the different services are doing. And then for Talent Plus, what is big for us right now is, and it's no secret, is human resource support. And businesses are quickly realizing, both businesses without an HR department or personnel, as well as businesses with an HR department. And I like to stick a pin here to let you know that we cater to both. We are not trying to say to HR departments that we are trying to eliminate you, but rather we want to partner with you and support you so that you can focus on more strategic functions. Now, what's important for Talent Plus in terms of positions in the short to medium term is finding persons who can provide strategic as well as administrative support, a combination. And so, because of the types of services that we offer, it can't be someone with one focus skill set, but you must have diverse skill set. And so that's really important for us, a combination of administrative and strategic support. Um, Tell us about your ideas. While I am the founder, I am not saying that everything, all of the ideas and recommendations, they have to come from me. I tell my team, offer your input. How can we reach from point A to point B? If something is needed and team member A can't work on it for a client, then team member B should be able to offer support even if it is administrative. So it's really administrative and strategic support.
So you make some excellent points, and yes, if you work with me, I constantly talk about data, and that's because when we run small businesses, we think we don't have data, but we do, and we make decisions that are not data driven because we are not understanding the data we have, nor are we mining that data and leveraging that data to make strategic decisions. Now, I'd like to talk about the Caribbean context. And the reason I always go here or speak to this is because a lot of our business advice, a lot of our content we consume from the North American space. And I like to say that sometimes we are aiming for goals that are not necessarily aligned with our context. For instance, your number of followers. Some people have more followers than we have people in our country. And so doing business in the Caribbean requires an innovative and agile model that is separate and different and distinct from a business in your same industry or identical field in the North American space. And so, with that, I'd like to talk about some challenges you are observing when attempting to continue to grow your business in the Caribbean context.
Challenges in the Caribbean context. Um, well, first thing first, as you were speaking, one of the things that's important or that came to mind as you were thinking is knowing your unfair advantage. And Tamu will smile because that is something that she had to pound into my head. And listen, I'm telling you that I learned a lot in Level Up Ladies, and I learned a lot from Dr. Tamu. So, and oftentimes these are things that we know, so knowing your unfair advantage. But in the Caribbean context, challenges, um, I can think of a few actually. Um, in terms of when we started in July 2020 until now, one of the things, and I won't really call it as a challenge, because one of the things I spoke about is, turning adversity into opportunity. You would realize for the past 21 months, we have been dealing with COVID. And so Talent Plus, we have been operating in a rather sluggish economy. And so, as a business, whether locally, regionally, or internationally, this is something that we all have to deal with and really assessing and planning ahead. Um, if based on COVID, based on the services that you offer, and you're not able to meet your clients, and so you're not earning money or revenue, how can you service your clients based on what's going on, or how can you allow for business continuity based on our current economic climate? So those are things, that's one of the areas that I had to, or we had to constantly think about, reassess our our strategies and plan for the future and how we were going to tackle these things. So we have been operating in a rather sluggish economy, and that can be seen as a challenge, in my opinion. But it's how you deal with it, and it's important for you to assess what's going on and how do you move from point A to point B and utilize the services or strategies or mediums around you to help you to continue your business. Now, secondly, in a Caribbean context, people seeing value in the services that you offer. And when I say people seeing value, it is a big thing. Now, one of the things I mentioned is that we offer services to both job seekers as well as businesses. Now, I'm going to speak about both briefly because I can pretty much talk all night. I'm very passionate. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible. So, people seeing value. One of the reasons why I decided to target job seekers is because, as an HR specialist, I have seen so many horrible CVs over the years and have sat in equally horrible interviews. And so, apart from me realizing that it is generally an area where people suffer or they don't know how to write a proper CV or resume or even how to sell themselves in an interview, while it was something that I thought would be important, it came back as an area of need from the in the survey that we administered. But guess what? People are still not taking advantage of it as they should. And I'll tell you this secret, we were very strategic with our pricing when we launched, to help to boost our ease in entering the market. And so people seeing value, and that's just one area. It is an area of need, seeing value in what you do and recognizing that you need this assistance and paying for it. So with seeing value in a Caribbean context, we have this thing where most things, services, or if you can help me, it should be done or given to me for free. And that's not always the case. So seeing the value in what we do and taking advantage. Let's look at HR support or even training and development or recruitment and hiring. You pick one. Businesses recognizing, hey, we may need some assistance in finding the right people. We cannot do it all by ourselves. We can outsource this function while we focus on more strategic functions. This is an area where this HR firm specializes in. So let us bring on that expertise to help us to find the right talent. And so it has been hard trying to create or get that buy-in, you know?
So let's see. We have Shara Vero, and Cher says people seeing value in what we offer is a challenge indeed. And I think that results in people not being willing to pay value for the service despite the fact that they need it. Cher, right? And despite the fact that it is
Yeah,
world class. So it
yeah,
is important for Caribbean small businesses and entrepreneurs to be able to export their services outside of their
definitely.
individual countries. And so you're
Definitely.
speaking to the choir. I actually
Mhm.
am an export service trainer for the Caribbean Export Development Agency, and we speak specifically about exporting services. And you have to explore different markets. But do understand that when we speak about exporting services, you do not have to export services as in go abroad. You can export services in your own country. It just means that the consumer is not a local resident or national. But certainly, Kamara, I think the way that we are socialized, we tend to see more value in the tangible, right? And the material than in, these types of services that are supposed to grow and develop. And so that can create a stemming of growth in the Caribbean context. So you
Yeah.
can proceed. Thank you, Cher Rivero.
Sheer. I just want to say that Sheer, I agree with you 150%, and you're speaking to the converted. Being a member of Dr. Tamu's Level Up Ladies, it is something that she always spoke to us about. And I I am happy to tell you that, we are exporting our services. So that is something major for us at Talent Plus at such a young stage. Um, when we speak about people seeing value and the way we are socialized, as you said, Dr. Tamu, I think about the stigma that is attached to some Caribbean businesses or someone from the Caribbean starting a business. And for some reason, we are not giving the same level of respect or the same level of confidence placed in us as an international firm when we have the same capability, the same level of experience, and so on. So definitely the stigma attached to small and even some Caribbean businesses, that is definitely a challenge. But what I would say to anyone who is operating a business or seeking to start a business is that don't let that hinder you. If you believe in your brand and you know that you have some good and solid service offerings, continue to push your brand and your business.
Well, Cher is saying yes. Yes. So, certainly, Caribbean businesses face unique challenges. And earlier, you mentioned about being innovative, making sure that you are constantly iterating your strategy. And that is definitely true in the Caribbean context. We are plagued by so many obstacles to scaling and growth. Now, as we wind up, I'd like you to you know, talk to us about if you had to choose one thing that if you had unlimited resources, so you have unlimited resources, right? What would you invest that in? What one thing would you invest in to really propel the growth of your business to the next stage?
Hmm. Unlimited resources.
Unlimited.
So based on the suite of services that I currently offer, or it can be anything.
Anything.
Hmm.
Because you have unlimited money.
One thing, wow, one thing. If I had to pick one, um, one of the areas that I will push and continue to invest in is human resource support for businesses, especially small and medium sized businesses, because it's one thing to find or acquire the right talent, but how do you keep them engaged or how do you retain them? And so quite often you find that as a business place, you don't have the mechanisms in place to help your employees to grow so that your business can scale, and your employees are your biggest assets. So what I will do is to invest in HR support. And when I say invest in HR support, it's investing in Talent Plus, acquiring the things that we need so that we can greater deliver HR support to businesses. And so right now, that would be my first choice. But if you ask me this in 6 months or a year, I might say something else because we have to assess what's going on in our current business climate.
Well, Kamara, it was wonderful chatting with you. I must say that I am thrilled to have been invited to be part of your growth journey. It is always very satisfying as an entrepreneurship coach to see businesses move from idea to implementation to growth. It is always exciting. As you know, my entire being is to serve the Caribbean entrepreneur, particularly the Caribbean woman. And so it is always so gratifying to see women elevating, making money, and being models for other women in the space. And so I'll let you have your last words just before we sign off.
I want to say thank you for inviting me to have this discussion with you via this platform. And also, thank you for supporting me from even before the launch of Talent Plus up to now. And I know we have a long way to go as well because I'm not letting you go so easily. But thank you for playing an instrumental role, in my life as somebody who ventured into this area of starting a business and to helping me to assess what's going on in our business environment and for helping Talent Plus to scale. Um, for those who are tuning, I want to say thank you for tuning in and participating in our discussion. If you would like to reach me, you can visit our website at www.talentplushr.com, or you can send us an email, info @talentplushr.com, or give us a call, 1-869-663-7266. I repeat, 1-869-663-7266. And as I said earlier, while we are based in St. Kitts and Nevis, we offer services to regional and international clients as well. So we export our services. And so if you are a job seeker in need of transitioning or helping you to grow in terms of your career, reach out to us. If you're a business owner or manager or someone in a critical role and you're in need in assistance in whether it is recruitment and hiring, training and development, we do virtual training as well, or HR support, reach out to us. Thank you once again for tuning in. And thank you, Dr. Tamu.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. For those of you who are going to be watching on the replay, thank you. And do engage with us even on the replay in the comments. Kamara and I will be looking out and will respond. As you know, I am Dr. Tamu Petra Brown of Innovative Education and Training and Coaching by Tamu. You can just Google me, and my information is scrolling. So, this will not be the last as we move really into what is the new iteration of Tamu and Tamu TV. And we'll be moving to talk to women in businesses in emerging tech, such as immersive reality, in blockchain, etc., and all of the fourth industrial skills, 21st century skills, because in the Caribbean, we cannot be left behind. So, thank you very much, everyone, for spending time with myself and Kamara. Bye bye.